A pleasure to meet all at last. And so, I'm back at it once again with I Found It First Season 3. And as you probably know, last time I talked a bit about something that had happened in my life. Something in which that I just went ahead and did in a flash. I packed as many bags as I could, made as many predetermined plans as I possibly could, left the state of Wisconsin, pretty much to whomever wants to live there. In my old house, I practically left abandoned for over a month. But what I did during that time wasn't just anything of any kind. This was a move that I had to make. Going all the way out to the Northwest, Beaverton, Oregon, was a place that I had deemed to be a next big step, the next best thing that I could have possibly done. Gone out to the Northwest in the same way that many ancestors have gone out to the Northwest in search of a more promising life. A life flowing with opportunity. And while some people might look at this as a different type of Oregon Trail story, this wasn't accomplished by walking or wagons of any sorts, fording through rivers and whatnot. No, this was just me boarding a train and waiting over 2 days to finally get to where I was looking for. In any case though, once I finally did arrive in Oregon, a lot of things might have seemed off as opposed to what I had been told about over the years. But with the time that I had spent getting an apartment, finding some new friends, a new job opportunity, and various other things that I did throughout the 1 month I spent there in order to at least give me some sign of hope, it all fell through. But we might as well take a look at the clips that I had put together throughout that time that I had spent during that month of my life in Oregon. And well, this is pretty much what it is. With the fact that I had gone so far to travel thousands of miles by train, by walking, by hiking up hills, as I pretty much done so during that time, the 1 month of my life in which that it really opened my eyes to the world that went beyond what I had normally considered, the Northwest truly was a big place to get to. They consider it a modern day metropolis. but not in every potential aspect, it seems. Beaverton was one impressive place. A lot of opportunity was there. A lot of architecture was there. A lot of flying colors, if not the colors on the buildings themselves. A lot of local places to go to. In addition to, well, the many chains and franchises that were already there. But the point is that time I spent there, I had a lot of different things that I was able to do. I went to a lot of restaurants during that month. I was able to get a job working remotely at the time. I had a somewhat sizable apartment, but oh man, don't even get me started on what I had to pay just to live there. In fact, that was one of the main reasons why I couldn't even live there for that much longer than a full month. I mean, even though I had found some friends to not only help me pay that place off, but to also keep me company, it's even more crazy when you realize the fact that, believe it or not, one of them actually has since moved into Wisconsin. Yeah, I probably won't give that much detail on who he is. Maybe not for a while, but the thing is, that time I spent up there was an eye-opening experience. And while many people looked at it like a horrific tragedy gone wrong in my life, what it really was me looking to charter a new path in my life, cross into unknown territory, and potentially start new. Only to not even make it a full month into my life without having to go back to square one. And well, this very house that I've been living in since 2007, which I now have ownership of, believe it or not, I mean, that's just one thing about me having to move all the way back here to Wisconsin. But among many other things that I had done since then, after 4 years of time, I might as well just reiterate. The fact that I spent 2 hours, one day, in the end of that terrible, horrible, no good, very bad thing in my life. I tell you, we've talked about bad years in the past. Many people have, in fact, talked about bad years in the past. But no year, if it even deserves that title, comes anywhere close to the horrid, atrocious, loathsome, sickening, and demon-twisted head of a child's worth of nightmares as 2021. The more I talk about it, the more I want to do something really horrible. So that's why I'm just gonna stop now before it gets any worse. Just the fact that I moved out was one thing, but the fact that I had to live, it almost made me want to die years ago. Before all this happened. And all those people thinking that 2016 was the cutoff, I could understand why. But don't people know? There is no true cutoff unless you make it happen. Everybody makes it happen. And 2020, once again, was not and never will be a bad year. In fact, if I ever have the money to take over YouTube, I'm getting rid of that stuff. All of it. Every single byte worth of that data. Erased. There will be no history claiming 2020 was the worst year. Every single one of those innocent or guilty people are sitting on a throne of lies. Obviously, people didn't know that what happened after 2020 was going to be even worse, but that's not the whole point. So, it's like I've said. If I go on about it any further, then it just won't end too well. So, I'll see you guys later on I Found It First, if I even come back here at all. But one thing's for sure, though. There's still more worth looking at, more worth discovering, and much more worth taking in before I even bother to leave I Found It First. Probably for the rest of the time. So, I will see you guys next time on I Found It First Season 3. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side.